Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good weekend. Today I thought we'd do something different because my brand new keyboard arrived from... There it is. This is an empty box, by the way. It's not like super light. From the guys over at HyperX, because they sent me their new keyboard, because obviously they are a sponsor on this channel. I use pretty much all their products. I use their keyboards, their mice, their mics, their headsets, their earbuds. I love all their stuff. And you know, you see headsets quite a bit because you see people wearing them on streams and stuff. You don't always get to see keyboards, and they very kindly hooked me up with not only the keyboard, but also the hooding keycaps. These are so clean. I like these. You know what? When these first came out, they weren't even available in the UK. I had to buy the US layout. Let me just tell you guys in the US, your keyboard layout is wild. You guys got your keys all in the wrong places. I had to go and use a marker on the original keys to rewrite the keys so that they were correct. Anyway, this is the UK layout, and they also sent me the nice, whoa, wrist rest. So I'm going to customize my keyboard, and I thought, you know, on one hand, I was going to shoot some fancy B-roll, which I've still done, and then just sort of show it to you sort of once it's completed. But then I thought, you know what? Let's do something a bit different. Let's record a Q&A while I'm doing this, while I'm customizing my keyboard. So in the background, in a minute, we're going to switch to a top-down view. I'm going to take all the keys off, put on the fancy new keys, and while I'm doing that, which will probably take about 10 minutes, give or take, I threw up a question on Twitter asking people to post their questions about anything, gaming, life, related, and I'm going to answer them while I customize this keyboard. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, a like would be super appreciated. If you want to find out more about the keyboards, click the link in the description box down below. And of course, let me know what you guys do to customize your keyboards. But let's do it. Let's jump over and start customizing. Alright, so the keyboard I'm going to be customizing is of course the Alloy Origins, which is basically the version I was using before. Prior to this, I had the Alloy FPS RGB, which they've stopped doing and they've replaced with the Alloy Origins. For all intents and purposes, it's essentially the same keyboard, and it just has that nice small form factor. You can get the bigger keyboards from HyperX with the inbuilt wrist rests, but I actually prefer getting the smaller one and then just buying the wrist rest so that I can kind of have that, you know, memory foam thing under my palms and whatnot. Anyway, this is the one I'm customizing, and it's basically the same as the one that I've been using. I'm not going to put any pictures of the ones that I've been using in because my keyboard is hella dusty and it's embarrassing. So instead of dusting it, I'm just going to swap it out for a new keyboard. It's great. Anyway, that aside, let's turn our attention to some of the questions. I'm going to scroll through these ones. So very first question comes from Maury, who, by the way, is an incredible artist. If any of you guys are Twitch streamers and you need some emotes, he is like best in the business. His stuff is incredible. He says, your logos, intros, transitions, etc. are very clean and professionally made. At which point in the growth of your channel did you decide to invest time and money into having a polished brand? So to kind of answer that quickly, like, I've always tried to make the brand look as good as it possibly can, because prior to doing YouTube, at school I did graphic design, so I've always had like an eye for graphics, and I've always wanted things to look a certain kind of way, so I've been quite particular. That being said, for the first, say, 3 years of YouTube, I used to make my own YouTube intros. I do all my thumbnails myself, I do most of my graphics myself, but YouTube intros, I used to make them myself. Shout out to Andrew Kramer. I used to follow his After Effects tutorials and just try and make them from there. And then soon after that, I used to buy pre-made templates from places like VideoHive. And then I'd say, I think it was sort of year 4 or 5 that we started reaching out to companies to basically sort of get them to do our intros, and we have one person that we work with reliably for all of our YouTube intros. We basically hit him up every single year because every year we like to change our intro and kind of like refresh the branding. So every year he does it, and he just does an incredible job. Shout out to Gabe. I'll drop his link in the description box down below if you want to know who does intros. And outside of that, some of the other graphic stuff we've had done for things like my fitness channel, VIDEOGAINS, that's done by Get Wrecked Labs. So a couple of places like that. But yeah, basically we got to the point where I realized that I was not capable, like my skill level in After Effects wasn't good enough to meet the quality that we wanted to kind of showcase. So I was like, you know what, let's lean on people that are actually experts in this field, and let's pay somebody to do the intro. So yeah, we make our videos ourselves, we make our thumbnails ourselves, but motion graphics, I get somebody to do that. Question from Embo says, how do you maintain or trim your beard? To be honest, it's actually pretty simple. I basically just like shave off the scraggly bits from time to time. Obviously you shave around the beard so that you have like that nice clean line. And in terms of maintaining it, I just use beard oil from my friend. My friend runs this beard oil company called Kraken Beard Oil, and it's not sponsored, but he's my friend and he just makes a really cool oil. So I love it. He's up in Scotland. He makes it all out of natural materials, natural oils and stuff. There's no like chemicals in it. And we even have like a collaboration oil that we did together. There's like an Arekkz gaming beard oil there. So yeah, you just use oil, keeps it fresh, and just, yeah, that's kind of all I do to it. Trim it, put oil in it, that's it. Wash it, obviously, as well. You know, wash your hair, wash your beard, stay clean. Next up, question from Jen. There are 4 questions here. Let me just try and rattle through these super quickly. Did you ever get motion sickness? Not really, apart from when I played Half-Life VR. Weirdly, it's the only VR game that makes me feel like I'm gonna fall over, so not entirely sure what's up with that game. What's one of my most frustrating gaming moments? Probably fighting the Nameless King in Dark Souls 3, but I did it after 41 deaths. Which game sequence made you cry? I've honestly never cried in a video game or a film. I'm not sure if that means I'm a robot or I have no emotions, but I haven't done it. And what's my favourite boss design? Probably Demise from Breath of the Wild. I just think he's incredible. Question from This Week in Video Games, which also is an awesome podcast. Make sure you check them out as well. He says, what would be your dream lineup for a Zelda 35th Anniversary Direct in 2021? I would love it if they would be like, Wind Waker HD is coming to Switch, Twilight Princess HD, Skyward Sword HD. I would then love it if they announced that they were doing Minish Cap in the style of the new Link's Awakening, and then of course give us Breath of the Wild 2. That would be perfect. Gihan says, who are your top 5 fictional bald characters with a beard? Kratos. Oh, you know what? You put me on the spot. I can't think of all the characters with beards and that are bald. I should know this. I really should know this. I'm just gonna say Kratos. Kratos, and Kratos. Yeah, let's go with that. Dark Zone Pilot says, everyone is asking safe questions. Okay, the gloves are off. What would it take for you to cut your beard? If you've already done so before, I totally missed that somehow. Would you do it again? I would never cut my beard because I feel like I sacrificed my hair so that I could generate the power to grow my beard. I feel like in order to grow a beard, you have to make a sacrifice to the beard gods. And I did that. And if I shaved off my beard as well, I feel like I would just... My beard is part of my brand. It's like people know me because of my beard. If I take that off, it would be like taking the A out of Arekkz Gaming. Like, that would be like saying, how can you function without a heart? I feel like my beard is just as integral to my survival as breathing and drinking water. So, what would it take for me to cut it off? Nothing. I mean, no, that doesn't, no, wait, no, not nothing. Everything. I can't answer this question. It's not cutting off. Nothing. No, it can't be taken off. Leave me alone. Shadowmane says, what's a quick rundown of your process for getting videos out so quickly after they are revealed? So this is something that we've just learned over time because obviously this is, I've been doing this for about 8-9 years now. So I never used to be fast at making videos, but the process for getting something out really quickly, because a lot of the time, some of you guys might comment, say, they might drop like a brand new trailer for a game and then within about 45 minutes, we've got a video up. So the way that we approach this, obviously it depends on different videos. When it comes to initial reactions or initial pieces of information, then what I will always do is I will watch the trailer live, and as soon as I'm watching it, I also have a notepad document up, which I will then write as I'm watching it. So like, let's say a new Monster Hunter trailer comes out and I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, new monster, we get to see No Gigante, we get to see new armor set. Oh, this is the armor set bonus. Oh, this is this. So like, by the time I've finished watching that like 2-minute trailer, I've already written notes. So straight after that, I then open up my audio recording software and I'm like, yo, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another video. And I literally start reading through my notes, and then basically you can then just take the trailer, cut that up, put it over your audio. So the process to turn that around is incredibly quick. Now, obviously, if you want to do a more in-depth video, like a full-on breakdown, that takes longer. But when it comes to covering news as it drops, that's typically the process. It's watch it whilst making notes and then very quickly turn that around. And because obviously I've been editing quite a lot, I know all my shortcuts in editing, I've got a lot of pre-made templates, so I can just throw things together very, very quickly. So a news video, I can have out in less than an hour. Meanwhile, something else might take me a good few. Question from Taylor, do you miss me? And did you see that ludicrous display last night? Yes, definitely. Of course, for those of you guys that maybe haven't been in the channel too long, Taylor used to be a member of Arekkz Gaming. He was the 5th member. He used to work and edit videos for us for a little while. He then moved over to work at Ubisoft, so congratulations to him. Yes, I do miss you, buddy. And I always used to joke because I know absolutely nothing about football/soccer, so the only thing I ever used to say to Taylor was the quote from IT Crowd, which was, that one. And the quote about them always walking it in, so yeah. Toxie says, can we rate your outfit? Ordinarily, I would say yes, but since lockdown, I basically just live in joggers and gym wear all the time, so I don't think my outfit is rateable right now. Flash says, does your beard give you superpowers, and what lotion do you use? I kind of already answered this before, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that most of my strength and power comes from my beard, so I feel like maybe if I had an x-ray, I would notice that my heart has just migrated to my beard. Anyway, that aside, lotion, yeah, Kraken beard oil is what I use for that stuff. Let's get this over with. Says, have you ever been to Japan? If yes, do you have any places in terms of food and scenery that you recommend for future travelers? If no, which country do you recommend for travelers who like Japan? Yes, I've been to Japan probably about 7 times now. I absolutely love it there. I was supposed to go to Japan earlier this year for my holiday and for my 30th birthday, but lockdown happened, so that had to get cancelled. So that's kind of sad, but I love Japan. Depends on where you're going. Tokyo, there's some incredible places. If ever you go to Okinawa, there is a restaurant there called Kyuchan on Kokusai Dori, which is basically the famous street. It's a really small place. You can easily miss it. You have to kind of walk up the stairs and like down an alleyway, but it's a small family-run place and they do the best sushi, the best fresh fish. It is incredible. I went there every single day when I was in Okinawa because the people there were so friendly and we just sat there, chatted. It was great. Otherwise, obviously, if you're in Tokyo, then Koko Curry for that katsu curry is amazing. Pretty much any ramen bar you're safe at. There's, if you search for like sushi train restaurant, there's a sushi restaurant where like literally you place your order on an iPad and stuff comes out on a train. It's great. I love it. So yeah, definitely that one. Only One Theo says, any thoughts on Genshin Impact? Free-to-play game dropping later this month. Looks like it could be good. I'm honestly really excited about it. My friend Chaotic does a load of coverage on that if you guys want to know more about the game. But this is, yeah, I really like the look of it. It, like, initially when it was announced, a lot of people were raging because it looks kind of like Breath of the Wild. And they were like, hey, they copied it. And while there's definitely a lot of influences, it just looks like a fun game. It's like that visual style that I like, paired with anime stuff. And yeah, I played the beta. I didn't play it too much because honestly, I just wanted to experience it when it comes out. So I'm personally super excited for, I think there's a Switch version. So yeah, that. But yeah, gonna be good. Question from Ori the Blorf says, I love Monster Hunter. My first Monster Hunter was Freedom Unite. Though at times my friends and I will find it repetitive and do something else. As the main channel for Monster Hunter World, how do you keep the game feeling fresh and so interesting to keep playing? Honestly, the answer is I do pretty much exactly what you do. Even though we are one of the main channels for Monster Hunter World or just Monster Hunter in general, I don't have to play it all the time. You know, I play it to cover it, I play it because I enjoy it, but much like I do with any video game, I play it while I'm having fun, and then when there are things that, you know, it gets repetitive or if there's not as much to do, I simply put it down and I just do other stuff. So even though Monster Hunter is one of my all-time favorite games, I'm not playing Monster Hunter every single day. I play it when there's new stuff that comes out. I play it, you know, when I feel like it or if friends want to jump on and just to get some hunts in, but I'm not necessarily, you know, I don't have to play it all the time. Just because I cover a game, it doesn't mean you have to be playing it 24/7. So yeah, that's how I keep it fresh. You know, exact same thing for, I love Zelda. It's one of my favorite games. Doesn't mean I play Zelda all the time. And the same thing is applied to all the games we cover on the channel. You know, I play it for periods of time and then I slow down, so I just kind of take a break and then I come back. That's how you keep things fresh. I don't think anybody should kind of try and play something all the time, even if it's getting boring, because that's how you just kill things that you like. Taylor Stollard says, I'm loving the content over at VIDEOGAINS. What are some motivation tips you have for someone slacking or lacking on a whole lot of extra time? I would say, first things first, for any of you guys that don't know, VIDEOGAINS is my fitness and gaming channel. It's basically a channel that I run with Socks, my friend, and we basically kind of combine the worlds of gaming and fitness. If that sounds like something you like, then check it out. I'll drop a link to that down below. To answer your question, Taylor, honestly, I feel like the main thing for me was just finding where you have time in your day. It's really easy to kind of like look at a day as a whole and be like, I haven't got enough time, but I'm pretty sure most people will find, you know, even if you're really busy, even if you've got like family and work, most people will have like a period of time in their day where they, you know, they've got like a window. And not to say that you have to necessarily min-max it and suddenly take any free time you have, but for me personally, that window has always been the morning. Like, I'm a morning person. I get up at 6 a.m. every day, and from like 6 till 9, that's kind of my window, and that's where I put like my workout stuff in. And I think for anybody, like when it comes to trying to find that, I think if ever you're trying to get motivated to work out, if you have to move everything around, it's never going to work. If you have to be like, all right, I have to like adjust family time, adjust gaming time, adjust this, like it's always going to feel like a struggle and like a slog. Whereas if you can just look at a day and be like, I've got a spare hour here and it's not going to be too impactful, slotting something in as opposed to moving something around is a much easier way to stick to what you want to do. So try that and yeah, go from there. Tom's Mon says, not sure if it's supposed to be Monster Hunter related or not, but 2 questions. Do you want underwater combat back in the game? Honestly, no. I mean, I never really enjoyed it. That being said, I don't always mind new mechanics. I mean, if it's just going to add to more stuff, I'm not against it. I just don't personally miss water combat. And he said, what do you think of a hybrid Monster Hunter and Stories game where you can catch monsters and use them as mounts? It's always been a dream of mine. That sounds really cool. I'd play that. I like that. That sounds like a fun idea. Make it happen. Milo says, how did you meet each of your team members and what did they say that made you bring them onto the team? So 269, obviously, him and I created the channel together. I've known him since university. We went to uni together. We worked at Microsoft together. It was his idea to create the channel, so I've just met him from the beginning. Funny story for that one. I'm normally a really organized person, but on the first day of university, I forgot my schedule, and then I met 269. I think there was like an awkward question where I was like, hey, do you like video games? And then we kind of started chatting. Paradise Central, kind of funny story. Back when we used to play Arma, like Arma Battle Royale, he was introduced to us through like a friend, and at the time, he would always be like the person that would just do what you don't want to do in games. When we would be trying to sort of play together, he would just be like, I can snipe this guy. So initially, I was like, who is this guy? But then as we played with him more, he was just kind of really cool. And then obviously it just became like an organic thing. He started streaming with TwoSixNine, brought him into the channel, joined with that. Vestmore, funny story, I actually met him at an event. I went to a Monster Hunter event in the UK. It was at Japan Expo, and he actually came up to me and was just like, I watched your Monster Hunter videos, how's it going? Just kind of stopped and chatted to him for a few minutes. And then he just kind of, we just kept in touch from then, and gradually, over the years sort of became friends. And then when we were looking for more people, we needed like an editor, because there came to a point when Destiny, Division, Anthem, and Monster Hunter were out, and I was like, I physically can't cover all these games. So we kind of offered him a job, and he took a gamble. He quit his job, came to work for us, and that's that. Question from Alan Light says, what is the YouTube channel focus going to be now since Monster Hunter World is getting its final update? Still be the kind of same thing we always do. We'll still cover Monster Hunter anyway, even though it's getting its final update. We'll still talk about stuff. And historically, if you look at Monster Hunter, whenever one game ends, they tend to spin up another one. So I imagine it's probably not going to be hugely far away before we hear something new. And if so, then we'll just do what we always do, cover all the news, bring you guys all the latest information, and then start getting ready for the next one. But we are a gaming channel as well, so we'll just cover whatever games we're playing. And then final question from Angel, I think I'm running out of time now, says, what inspired you to make your kind of information style videos that you make now? What drives you? Main thing is because I've never really been somebody, at least when I started making videos, I didn't necessarily think I was specifically like a funny person, so I wouldn't necessarily do Let's Plays. I also never had a desire to actually review games. While I have, on the channel done a few impressions videos, and, I did like a review for Ghost of Tsushima. Generally speaking, I don't really care about reviewing games, because even when I was growing up, I never used to watch game reviews. I would just be like, if I like the look of a game from a trailer and I watch a gameplay trailer, that's enough for me. So the only stuff that I ever wanted to do was like the kind of content I would consume is if ever you want to find something out or you watch a guide. So I just like being able to provide informative content. I like the idea that if I make a video and somebody can learn something from it, or somebody can get better at the game from it, like Monster Hunter, for example, people have learned to use weapons through my videos. That honestly is really kind of awesome. So there we have it, wrapped up, done. Keyboard is set up in its new place, looking very nice. Definitely not dusty like my old keyboard, so that's a win. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hope you enjoyed the sort of different look at it and answer some of your questions. If you've got more questions, drop them in the comments down below. I'll try and answer some of them as well. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there. If you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with, it's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.